We're honoring Black History Month all month long here on 7 News, and today we take a look inside a Greenville County church that's been a pivotal marker in civil rights history. In fact, it's one of the oldest Black Baptist congregations in the county. 7 News reporter Melanie Palmer gives us a glimpse of its past and talks with the pastor about its future.
Springfield Baptist Church, a pillar in the African American community here in Greenville County and far beyond, dating all the way back to Civil War times.
Bishop Hall, who led the movement in Greenville.
If walls could talk,
This is minutes of the meeting.
These ones would have a lot to say about civil rights, equality, and justice.
A lot of things happened here in Springfield Baptist Church. That's where people met. The only place the blacks would meet was at a church.
You'll find interim pastor Dr. John Corbett's picture there, a man who has been a part of that fight for decades.
All the legislators were white. They had no representation.
He joined the church in 1974, 2 years after it burned down.
Yeah, that's the old church.
You see, this congregation, a focal point for civil rights since its founding during the Civil War era. The first pastor, a former slave.
They called him Father Poole.
It became a headquarters for the civil rights movement in Greenville during the 60s, also the place where the Greenville branch of the NAACP and Greenville Urban League were organized. Civil rights icons are no stranger to this sanctuary.
Jackie Robinson came to Greenville to speak at an event at Springfield Baptist Church. He came at the old airport downtown. He was mistreated at the airport. So some students gathered here, including Jesse Jackson, who was a young man at that time. They marched on the airport to integrate the airport.
Just like Pastor Corbett is no stranger to them.
I went to the Great March in Washington with Dr. King in 1963. I was right there in front of him when he made his speech.
His voice for standing up for what's right still echoing today in the walls of this historic house of prayer. That fight for equality, though, he says, still far from over.
The black unemployment is higher than the whites. The prison population is way out of proportion to the population, so it's still not equal.
That's why artifacts like this bell from their former steeple are so important to Pastor Corbett.
Resolve that we grant to the colored members the use of the basement.
Reflecting on the past.
I mean, that's precious.
While having faith in what lies ahead.
We're going to have faith that the good Lord will bless us and keep us going.
What's next for the congregation here at Springfield Baptist Church? They're going to keep doing what they have been for the last 150 years, serving their community. The pastor here says they're hoping to do that more with in-person events once things get better with the pandemic. In Greenville, Melanie Palmer, 7 News.
And Dr. Corbett retired after 37 years with Springfield Baptist Church, but came back. He's been serving as the interim pastor as the search for another continues. Well, for the rest of the month, we will continue our celebration of Black history with reports and stories, and we'll even have a special airing on our sister station, WYCW, on February 24th at 7:30 p.m. and again on February 26th at 7:30 p.m. right here on 7 News.